Hey, everybody. Guess who actually watched Andor? This guy. And we're going to talk about it here today on Two Geeks and a Microphone.
Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
Hello there. So who talks first? You talk first. I talk first.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your co-host, Mr. Steven Bosser, along with the one, the only, the most beardiest Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom Land. Yeah, I've been working hard on this beard.
And soon we hope to be having a nice affiliate sponsorship with one of their bearded companies.
I'm trying to get it.
That'd be great. Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, I like their products. I use them all the time.
Which company is that? We'll just go ahead and give them a shameless plug now.
It's called Live Bearded. Live Bearded. I like their philosophy. Their philosophy is action over words, and I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And their products smell incredible. I love it. Check out Live Bearded.
I think mine is too small to.
Well, you might want to check them out. You can get the beard oils at least. That's not really for your beard. That's for your face. I found that out through Live Bearded. I didn't know what a beard oil was really meant for. It's really meant to moisturize your skin underneath your beard, not so much for your beard.
Oh, cool. See, I learned something new.
Yeah. See. So
I'm just amazed I can grow this.
Well, it took some time to get this. This is a work in progress here. Going for that ZZ Top look.
Right on. I love it.
It might take a little longer there.
Yeah. Well, good morning, everybody. We are looking forward to today's show. Now, it's possible we're going to have a guest who will join us that may be running late, that may come here and stuff like that. We'll see kind of what happens. But so we're going to kind of play it by ear a little bit. But we are here to talk about Andor. And as many of you know, I was not a big fan of the first season. Mike, you were... I think you were kind of in the middle, if I remember.
Right. I was, yeah, do something.
Right.
Bored. Very, very bored.
Yeah.
That's not to say that I didn't hate it. And I'm going to say the same thing for this one. I don't hate this season either. And I think there's more to this season than there was last season. But there's still quite a bit of, do something.
Yes. Well, we'll get into more detail on that, everybody, here pretty soon and stuff. So it's going to be good. So I tell you what, we're just going to get rolling with the show and stuff. Mike, anything else in the intro you want to discuss or anything?
I just realized we're not live on Rumble. I forgot to set up the link this morning. So for anyone
we'll get it posted
who catches this on Rumble, we will get it posted later. So you guys will see it later and not live. Sorry, I apologize.
That's all right.
Cool. We do have some viewers on Rumble.
Yeah. Any geeky news for you from today?
I have no geeky news, but I do have Geekdar.
Sweet. Let's do this.
Throw with the radar, sir. What's wrong with it? I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps. The what? The what? And the what? You know, the bleeps. The sweeps. And the creeps. That's not all.
I love that clip. I never get tired of it. Probably other people do, but I don't.
Oh, I love Spaceballs, and I love Rick Moranis. I think he was a hilarious actor, and
Yes.
I miss having Rick in the movies. But
Yeah.
oh well.
Yeah. Well, so I'll start us off. So I
Watch
did not
Andor.
I watched Andor, right. There's the news for you, everybody. I watched Andor. We'll talk about all that here in a minute. Of how much did Stephen really watch? How many times did Stephen go, skip?
Skip. I told Brenda there were a few points where I'm like, I should be Steven skipping this.
That's awesome.
And I'm not one to do that either.
Yep.
Well,
let me tell you this.
We'll get into it.
Let me tell you what I did not Steven skip. I did not know it was coming out, or I guess it was rumor, but I didn't know when or anything like that. But Star Wars Tales of the Underworld.
Yeah. I
did not Steven skip once.
And I saw that pop up, and I was
like,
ooh, I kind of want to watch this more than I do Andor.
Yep. Yeah. And to be open with you, I did watch it before I watched Andor.
Did you really?
Well, as soon as it came out May 4th, and I mean, I had been keeping up with Andor. Let me be open. I was keeping up with Andor. I'm just being silly. But to try to catch up for today's show, I actually watched Tales of the Underworld first. Then I was like, I'll pick up Andor because I guess it dropped May the 4th.
Yeah, I was camping, so we didn't have access to Disney Plus. Well, I could have watched it on my phone, but I don't want to watch that on my phone. I want to watch it on my television at home.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't realize it was, I remember hearing that it was coming out, but I didn't remember when it was being dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And I got home from camping and I was like, oh crap, I gotta catch up on Andor. I had several episodes to catch up on. And went to Disney Plus and saw the banner for Tales of the Underworld and saw that it was Asajj Ventress and Cad Bane.
Cad Bane.
Like, two of my favorites that I really, really like. So,
yeah. And you learned Cad Bane's real first name.
What?
Uh-huh.
No way. Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Oh, God, please don't let it be stupid.
It's George. No, I'm just kidding. But I'll call
what's Palpatine's first name? Shoot, we learned that in the
Plagueis?
novel, in Plagueis, the novel, and I hated it. God, I hated it. I hated it so much I've written it out of my memory. It's like, don't call him that. That's just it's terrible. Please don't give Cad Bane a bad first name.
It's not bad and all, but I'm looking forward. So everyone, we're going to do a show on it. So that's what we talked about before we came on, and we were talking about some of the stuff. And so we'll do a show on it. We just don't know exactly when, but we'll try to do it probably sooner than later because it just came out. So the question is it worth watching? Yes, it is worth watching. Especially if you like Clone Wars or Rebels, you like the animated, it's all in that style. But more, in my opinion, more happened in those 6 episodes. And each episode's only like 15 to 20 minutes kind of a thing. They're real short. But more happens in those episodes, I would say, than Andor, for lack of a better term. First season of Andor, especially. The pace of the stories was quick. It said what it needed to say. It did what it needed to do. Everything was done purposefully. So in other words, every scene, every interaction, there was something happening and going on kind of a thing. So it was really good kind of a thing. So yeah, so I liked it. I liked it a lot kind of a thing and stuff. So yeah. All right. What's on your Geekdar?
Sorry, my dog got playful all of a sudden.
Yeah, I hear her playing with a squeaky toy. It's not bad. It's all good.
She's wanting me to play fetch with her. Anyway, so my Geekdar, couple things. Hi, Luna, go away. Anyway, so mine are all DC comic related. One of them happens to be on my head.
Nice.
So I got a new Batman hat, and this isn't just any old Batman hat. This is the 1989 Michael Keaton hat.
Yeah.
I love. It's got the same emblem that Keaton wears on his bat suit, which if you know the movie, you know that emblem's slightly different. It's got extra points on the bat. I have no idea why Tim Burton did that, and it's the only time that symbol is used, because Batman Returns, they go back to the more traditional bat symbol, and they don't give it all the extra points. So I like it because it's unique to the 89, and it just screams 1989 Batman. So
yeah, it is nice. I noticed that earlier. It looks really good.
Yeah, so that's one thing. I actually bought this from the DC Infinite shop, which was yeah, me and a friend of mine at work were looking at the DC Infinite shop, and I saw this hat, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I gotta have that." So I ordered it. So that's one thing. The other is also DC Infinite. I know this isn't a DC episode, but
that's all right.
Happens to be with the things that I got over the last couple weeks. Anyway, the other one was actually a perk, since I'm a DC Infinite. Was it the ultimate level or whatever, the highest?
Ultra? Is it Ultra?
Ultra, that's it. And that's just so I can get the digital copies earlier than the standard
the standard plan.
Right, the standard plan, and also I can get the black label ones. You can't get the black label ones on the standard plan. But come to find out, there are perks to being a Ultra member that you get a free gift. And I didn't know this. I still lost it this year, and I had 3 choices. I don't remember what the other 2 choices were, but I saw this one, and I had to get it.
The Death of Superman trade paperback?
Yes, and it's not only the trade paperback, it's the 30th anniversary deluxe edition of the trade paperback.
That cover is awesome.
Isn't it? It's made exclusively to this edition, and the only way you can get it is through DC Infinite. So
if you're an Ultra member.
Right. So it's kind of an exclusive.
That's pretty nice, right?
Yeah, I really like it. And for audio listeners, it's got Doomsday and Superman on the cover in a heated battle. And Superman's costume is quite torn and everything. It's a really, really nice cover.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's made exclusively for this edition.
Nice.
So I was pretty excited. I've always been a fan of the Death of Superman series. I thought it was a great story.
Do you still have your original comics?
I don't. I wished I did.
I got mine.
I had those. I had Death in the Family. I had the originals of those. Now I got the trade paperbacks.
Nice.
But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the originals.
Yeah.
Although I don't think the value of Death of Superman originals are very high anyway. Just because that's the story that broke comic book collecting. We should do an episode on that sometime.
Okay, I like that.
I mean, Death of Superman is amazing, but it really broke comic book collecting. It is the book that broke comic books.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Anything else on your Geekdar?
That's
pretty cool, by the way. That cover is outstanding.
I like it. The only other thing is I'm getting close to finishing up book 2 of the Nephilim series by Brian Godawa, who we will have on the show in a few weeks.
2 weeks.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah. I'm halfway through the audiobook of the first one.
Okay, cool.
And really enjoying it.
Yeah, I read the first book. The first book is Noah Primeval. I read that, but it's been a while since I read it. It's been a bit.
Mhm.
And I'm currently reading the second book, which is the prequel, and it's Enoch Primordial. Yeah, I got it.
How is it? How is that one?
It's great. It's
Okay,
awesome.
good. I was like, oh, the second book is kind of a prequel, so I didn't know. So I'm glad you're going through it.
Well,
So
if you
okay,
think
I'll
about it,
grab that.
Enoch comes before Noah, so
Right.
so it makes sense that
Yeah, it's his grandfather, right? It's
Right.
Noah's grandfather.
right,
Yeah,
which is pretty wild, and
yeah.
Methuselah's in it, which is cool.
Yeah. So for those of you who may not know, Brian Gottowell writes this series. He's got several series, but the one we're looking at is called The Chronicles of the Nephilim. And it is, he takes into account a theology on the supernatural that actually was done by Michael Heiser, Dr. Michael Heiser. And so what he's doing is I don't want to say he's filling in the gaps, but he's doing, would you call it, you can't really call it historical fiction, but historical fiction fantasy.
Yeah, I would definitely throw fantasy in there.
In there, sure. But where he's put, and he owns up to it at the beginning of the book. That was really nice job of saying, hey, look, I took creative license. I'm using this discussion on the supernatural and just bringing it to life in what it would have been in the context of that day and how they viewed things and stuff. And I think he's just done a fantastic job. Just a fantastic job.
I agree.
And I'm looking forward to that.
Even if you're not a believer, these would be, but you're into fantasy, I think these would be great books.
Right. Right. And horror.
Yeah. Some horror to it too.
He doesn't go, he just kind of says what happens. He does a balance of show and tell.
Right.
In there, because just he wants you to get all the information. It's a delicate balance, and he's not bad in that, because he's trying to tell you all the culture and what's happening and stuff. If you're someone who likes details and likes to know a lot of names and stuff like that, I would put, for those of you who have read Malazan books, which I have not, but I'm aware of them, there's a lot of details. There's a lot of information in there. There's a lot of different people, but he's setting it all up to help everyone understand this supernatural world and how it breaks through the physical and vice versa. And so it's really good. I've quite enjoyed the book so far. The one. And I think if you've got Prime, everybody, I think it's available for Prime as a Prime reader. You can get the first book.
He's been having some crazy sales on these books too. So
yeah,
you might want to look for that also. Because I mean, there's instances where you can get like the electronic ones for like 99 cents or something like that. So great way to get the books. I want the physicals of these because I just want to have the physicals. Yeah. And I am enjoying reading them. They're an easy read. The chapters are fairly short, and which is great for me because I'm not the fastest reader. So. Just being honest.
That's all right. Yeah, they're not. They're so far so good. There's 8 books in the series. Is that right?
Yeah.
7 or 8 or something like that.
I believe so.
So I'm definitely not going to be able to get through them all before he's on the show. But at least I'll the first audiobook, and I've got some questions for him just about his writing and his view. He's got another book that's on a really good sale. I think it's his worldviews. He's got a worldviews book. Like Hollywood and worldviews, and really for Christians on, I think he's making a case for how we should redeem certain genres for Christianity. Like Christians, like, we can't be involved in that. And he's like, no, storytelling is a wonderful tool, kind of a thing and stuff. So,
he seems to just grab fantasy by the horns and went for it. So I like that. I really, really like the fact that he's done that.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty interesting if he gets into sci-fi.
Yeah.
I know C.S. Lewis had a sci-fi book.
Yep. He has a sci-fi trilogy. Yes. Yep.
I've never read it. I've heard mixed stuff on it though.
Yeah. That's interesting. I do have those actually ready to read. Yeah. Yeah. Electronically, not physically.
Sure. I get it.
All right.
One last thing. I
absolutely
am almost done with Evil. We are halfway through season 4 of Evil.
Okay.
So
You've been binging that. Like, where do you have the time?
I come home and we're like, okay, let's watch Evil tonight, and then you get like 2 or 3 episodes. Oh man, we got to go to bed.
Right. Gotta know what happens next. Yeah, I've seen season 1, but I need to play catch up because do we have that on the calendar? So everybody,
we haven't put it on the calendar officially, but I think we need to.
Okay.
Especially if you're going to watch them, because like I said, we're almost done with season 4, and there are only 4 seasons to Evil. Yeah. And I recommend the show. I enjoy it.
Cool. Ooh, one other thing I forgot to tell everybody. So today's the last day for Tom Hutchinson's Big Dog Inc., his Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah.
Today's
Definitely
the last day for that.
Put that out there.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be getting Critter.
Right on.
I ordered that on the 19th when we had him on, and I think my order got lost. So I messaged him, I think it was Monday when we were camping, and I was like, dude, can you look into why I haven't got my book yet? And he messaged me back. He goes, oh, I found it. Okay, it's getting sent. So I think my order got lost, but don't let that discourage anyone. Go check out Tom's work with Big Dog Inc. He does some great stuff, and he's just he's an all around awesome guy.
Yeah, it's been great having him on the show several times. And the other thing is just so for those of you who are curious about it, he has extra stuff, but how it works is you order the primary, which is like a Critter, and then you can do add-ons of other things. So you can get like the trade paperback of Oz, you can get the trade paperback of Penny for Your Soul, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So you can kind of add to your order, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. All right. Are we ready for this?
I guess so. As ready as I'm going to be.
It's time for the main event. All righty then, everybody. So here we are. We are talking about Andor Season 2. Not Season 1. Season 2. There's not much to talk about Season 1. Just saying. I'm just kidding. Everybody, I just want to be open with you. We were like, all right, we're hearing good things possibly about Andor. People are liking it. And like, all right, we didn't really, first one was okay, but it was more, I get it where it was more of a lived in Star Wars world, if that makes sense. But it was so dang slow. And so I'm
interested. Nothing against Cassian. I love that character. I love Cassian.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think he's a great character. And gosh, I can't think of the actor's name. He's a great actor. I enjoy him.
Is it Diego?
Diego. I believe
Diego Luna. Is that it?
Yes, Diego Luna.
Great actor. Really good actor. Yes. And he does show off his acting chops in this.
He sure does. I mean, he is fantastic. Definitely, I don't want anyone to come across thinking that either one of us doesn't like him. That's not the issue. The issue is it's just, especially the first one, to me, was extremely slow. Just very slow.
It was slow.
There were some good things that happened in season 1, but just slow. I would say there's more good things in season 2, but season 2 still has a slow pace to it.
Yeah. You want to keep going, or do you want me to go?
You go. Sorry. I walked over you. I apologize.
Oh no. It's okay. No, I didn't mean it that way. So what do we want to use for our scale?
U-wings.
U-wings. Okay, I like that. All right. So
I have a model of a U-wing that I built. It's on my desk at work. So
nice. Okay, so we've got 9 episodes in, and there's going to be 12 episodes total, I think.
I believe you're right.
Is how many there's supposed to be. So here's what I'll tell you. Of these episodes, 7, 8, and 9 are really good. I thought the last 3, the 7, 8, and 9 were fantastic.
Yeah, I felt they picked up a lot.
They did. So so it so putting the whole season together so far of 9 episodes, I'll give it a 6 out of 7.
Okay.
Or 6 out of 10.
6 out of
6 or
10.
7 out of 10, yeah. And here's why. The problem with Andor is why are we doing this and what's the point? Really, the first 3 episodes were okay. They were all right. I was like, well, okay, there's a little more action and stuff involved, but it's drawn out. I mean, it's too,
Right.
it's my whole thing of they take these episodes where it could have been a fantastic movie, and drawn it out as much as they possibly can. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Steven skips, and again, this is no lie, you guys. I would go skip. He's still in the same position. He's still looking at the screen. Skip. Yep. He's still in the same position. He's looking at the screen. Skip. There was too much hanging in on a character. And I understand. And they're showing some acting chops. Don't get me wrong. But it was just like, speed this up. Get to the point. Or like, okay, a lot of stuff they could have done, they could have just truncated much of that into a good movie. Now, that's how I felt about 7, 8, and 9. 7, I skipped the first half. I was doing Steven skips all through the first half. And then once we got halfway through 7, then I was like, okay. And I barely Steven skipped in episode 8 and 9, but I still did some Steven skipping. So that's how I'm judging it, because, I'm limited on time. I say, come on, move it along. And the funny thing is you could just watch the recaps of the beginning of each episode and know where you're at. And then they repeat recaps. I'm like, why are you repeating the same stuff that you've already talked about? You've already recapped before, kind of a thing. So I was just like, yeah, if you really want to know what's going on, keep up with it. Just watch the recaps and then watch 7, 8, and 9. Because 7, 8, 9, from my understanding, deal with something that is a driving force that connected several Star Wars novels or events and stuff together. So,
okay. All right.
Of what I've heard, but I did enjoy it because it was action. It was action oriented, kind of a thing.
Gotcha. So you give it a 6.
I'll give it a good 6. Yeah, solid 6. No less than 6 for me.
All right. I'm going to start with the things that I really like about this season.
Okay.
I love the tech. The tech is awesome. The tech made me feel Star Wars.
Okay.
I don't always get that feeling with Disney Star Wars. It just doesn't always connect with me. It doesn't feel like original George Lucas Star Wars. I believe the tech in here matches to original George Lucas Star Wars tech, and I love that. Thought they did a fantastic job with that. I really like Cassian's performance. I think he does a great job. I like Mon Mothma's performance. She is fantastic. And Luthen, probably the 3 strongest actors in this series.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent work. I love the ships. The problem is not enough of the ships. This is Star Wars. I want to see more Star Wars in my Star Wars.
Right.
But the scenes where I actually got to see X-Wing fighters or TIE fighters, I was just over the moon. Loved it. Just not enough of that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I did enjoy the fact that we learn more about Cassian Andor and his rising up the ranks within the rebellion. I like that. It's just the story moved really slow getting there. That's the only issue with it. And then the fact that we got the U-Wing, I was thrilled. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
The U-Wing was introduced in Rogue One. I thought it was an incredible ship, and it fit in perfectly with George Lucas's original ships, and I love that. Absolutely love it. And then it took forever to get there, but we finally got K2SO. Thank God. I've been waiting for him for a season and a half now. Well, over a season and a half. And it's like, okay, get to one of the coolest characters in post George Lucas, Disney, Star Wars, get to him now, and they finally got there. And of course, we barely.
That was 9 episodes in. He shows up in 9, right?
Right. Yeah. And honestly, we only got one line from him. I want to hear the smart alecky droid. That's what I want.
Yep.
I want that smart alecky droid because I loved him in Rogue One. He was fantastic. He was one of my favorite characters in Rogue One.
Yeah.
So that being said, I wanted to love this series. Really.
Sure.
And again, I don't hate it. It's just slow. That's the problem. It's slow.
Mm-hmm.
Cut out a lot of the fat of this. Give me some more action. Make it quicker paced, and this would be a fantastic series. So other than that, I think I'm with you. I would give it 6 out of 10 U-wings. I don't.
Okay.
And that's struggling to give it 6.
Yeah,
it really is, and it's only because of the slow pace. That's it.
Yeah,
that's my only issue.
Yeah, it's drawn out. And when you get the action stuff finally coming in, you're like, yay, so, yeah, I'll save some other stuff for spoilerific territory. Let me ask you this. Did it cause you to want to watch Rogue One again? Like when we get the last 3 episodes to watch Rogue One again?
Actually, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to rewatch Rogue One.
Yeah.
I was feeling urged last night, but I finished up the episode and I'm just like, I'm so tired. I can't watch Rogue One tonight. But I see myself watching Rogue One in the near future.
Yes,
because of the series, and I think that's a good thing if it's making us want to go back and rewatch the movie that inspired it. I think that's
now that we have all this backstory with Andor, then how does that lean more into stuff? And now I understand. One of the things I really didn't like him with the character was just how he's just willing to kill somebody, kind of a thing. Like that was one of my issues.
Yeah, that's a little different for Star Wars.
It is.
Well, and then we had a potential rape scene.
Yeah, I wasn't thrilled about that.
I'm not sure that. I guess with this grittier version of Star Wars, it works. I don't know if I want that much reality in my Star Wars.
Right. Agreed.
I'm not one who's going to whine about it and and bitch and complain. I'm just saying I just don't know if I need that much realness.
Well,
that's all.
Yeah, there's a reason I like sci-fi and fantasy kind of stuff. There's a whole rationale for it. And where I just, I like the escapism, kind of a thing and stuff like that. So that's what I'm,
we're both having crazy
dog issues today. ID. So yeah, here, I know how to get them over here. Nope, they're right here.
Right.
Ta-da! There. So now I got to give them a treat, everybody.
I think Megan's in the living room playing with Luna right now, trying to keep her occupied.
Oh yeah.
But Luna was barking. I'm sure somebody had a dog walking by or something.
Yeah.
And she was out in the living room looking out the window, barking at her. As we say, watching doggy TV.
All right. Hopefully that'll keep them busy for a minute. So, hey, yes, I'm so sorry, everybody. I got distracted with the dogs. So the biggest thing about Andor, what we were talking about was fantasy world. I don't want the realism. I want somewhat, but I don't want the dark side of realism. There's a reason why I watch these with us, because I want to escape for a little bit and get my mind off things. And so, yeah, when it started to do that, when I was like, oh, really? We're going to go there? I know we were wanting a grittier show, but not like this.
Yeah,
kind of
that's kind of the way I felt too.
It's like taking the innocence away from Star Wars fantasy knights and, and smugglers.
At least they didn't go 100% with that. They just
agreed.
They put the impression that that's what he was going for,
right?
And which gave her kind of a nightmarish, uneasy feeling later on.
Yeah.
So I applaud them in their approach at it. I just think it wasn't necessary.
Do you think so? Everyone, we're going to kind of hit some spoilerific territory here. So, do you think some of that though was like trying to do drops of little things here and there throughout the whole story, say that the Empire was, I don't want to say becoming more evil, but showing its true colors of how evil the Empire was, and leading up to 7, 8, and 9, where it was this whole thing of that the mastermind plan of creating a situation so that they could really massacre these people, make it.
I don't know if that particular scene leads up to that at all. Honestly,
Okay.
Personally, I mean, you can establish the evilness of the Empire just by them coming in and taking over planets and so on and so forth, which we've seen several examples throughout the Clone Wars. We've seen the examples throughout the Bad Batch, and everything, where the Empire comes in, takes over a planet, robs it completely of its resources, and moves right along. They're just notorious for that. I just don't feel that this particular scene really adds anything to the quote unquote evilness of the Empire. I just don't think it's needed.
Okay. It's needed. I gotcha.
That's all. I think you stick with the military aspect of the Empire and just keep moving with that. Again, I don't need that grittiness, that type of grittiness in my Star Wars.
I agree. Okay.
And again, I don't want to come off as, I don't know how to say it. I hate the term Karen. I really do. I really hate that term.
Right.
It's probably a decent term for this. I don't want to come off being a Karen about this. I just don't like it. I don't care for it. I didn't think it was as bad as some people thought it was, because this was a major controversy when that aired. There were a lot of people who were upset, and then there were a lot of people who were like, whatever, and I fall in between in that category. I don't agree with it, but at the same time, I'm not going to let it. I didn't stop watching it because of it. So we'll put it that way. Yeah. I didn't, I didn't, oh, well, I hate this now and I'm done. No, I didn't do that. It didn't offend me enough to say, okay, I'm done with this.
I Steven skipped it. I was like, I don't want this. Click. It's still going. Click. Click. I was just like, and then the part where he got shot and killed, I was like,
no, I was surprised. I didn't know that Cassian had I'm assuming they're married. I gathered they were married. Is that, am I reading too much into that, or are they just a couple?
I don't know. The way she said, "Oh, my husband is coming home soon," with that. Like, okay, was she just saying that, or are they married? I don't think it's definitive, or I couldn't tell personally. So, but remember, I Steven skipped a lot of stuff out of that.
Well, I did like their relationship though. I thought that was good. I thought it was good to establish that Cassian did have this relationship before Rogue One, and then we get to that point where she takes off. She leaves. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
That's Bix. Her name's Bix, right? I think it's Bix. They had good Star Wars names in here too. I have to.
Yes, very much so. Yes.
Bix is a great Star Wars name.
Yeah.
George had a knack for picking weird names, and that's a good Star Wars name. I like that Star Wars name. But later on in this, or as we get later in the season, there's a point where Bix decides that it's time for her to leave and her to step up in the rebellion, I guess, per se. And so she leaves Cassian in the middle of the night, and in her video message to him, she tells him, "I'll see you again." And I'm sitting there going, "No, you won't." Nope. I saw Rogue One. Nope. He dies. She died. They all die. Nope. You won't see him no more. And in Rogue One, I had this feeling that he and Jin were going to get together. So
Yeah. Actually, it made it seem that way. And now they've got this whole other story. So yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Jin, and other characters that could have been in this series, I know Jin and Cassian couldn't meet because they don't meet till Rogue One, but Jin has connections with Saw Gerrera, and we had Saw. I like Saw, and Saw was more whole. Because in Rogue One, he's kind of in pieces.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, wow, Saw's got like full limbs. I mean, they're still robotic and everything, but he's got full limbs still. That's cool. And he's just as crazy in here as he is in Rogue One, which I thought was incredible. So I forgot. Yes, I love Saw Gerrera. Was glad to see his character back. But it was like, you got Saw, you got earlier Saw.
Right.
I would have liked to have gotten some kind of insight to where Jin is, where's Jin Erso at this point? That would have been kind of cool. So that's one thing I missed. The other thing that drives me insane is we have Bail Organa, who is not played by
Jimmy Smits.
Yes, Jimmy Smits. Apparently
Benjamin Bratt.
He had another project that was going on at the same time as they were filming Andor, so he couldn't make it. And they got who did you say?
Benjamin Bratt.
Benjamin Bratt. I thought Benjamin Bratt actually did a really good job.
I thought he did a great job. Yeah.
I was a little disappointed that Jimmy Smits wasn't there because he's played every iteration of Bail Organa. So I was slightly disappointed that we didn't get him back, but yeah, I thought he did a good job. I was very impressed with him. Yeah. But my only complaint is, you got Bail. Where the heck is teenage Princess Leia? Where is teenage Princess Leia?
She's on that diplomatic mission to get the plans.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm just kidding.
The plans. Gotcha. Right. Okay. All right. Maybe so, but there's not even a mention of Princess Leia whatsoever. It's like,
well, really? we still got 3 more episodes.
You're right. Maybe by the end we'll have an appearance of teenage Princess Leia. I would love to see teenage Princess Leia. And this is like just before, just a few years before A New Hope. So
right, yeah,
she's around.
Yeah, so for those that may not understand, explain BBY, because for those who may not know, because there's this whole thing on at each episode, and I do like the time jumps, actually. Thank goodness. They did a giant Steven skip of a year, which was fantastic, kind of a thing. So
they did 2. There was 2.
There are 2 for each. Yeah, each there's like 3 episodes, a time jump, 3 episodes, a time jump.
Right.
Or something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
But it will give the BBY. And so what is BBY?
So they are at the base on Yavin 4 to be precise. And Yavin is the planet that they're on in A New Hope. And the battle that pursues in A New Hope is known the Battle of Yavin. So BBY is before the Battle of Yavin. Is what BBY stands for. So yeah, and they tell you it's like 3 BBY, so 3 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Yeah, I think it was 4, 3, and 2. I think is how it did it, right?
Right. Yeah. So obviously, if we're 2 years from the Battle of Yavin, Princess Leia is around there somewhere.
Right.
And she should be learning how to be a diplomat and stuff. I actually have a good recommendation for a book on kind of this time period, and it's actually supposed to be within the canon because it was written during the Disney era. But there's a book called Bloodlines, and it's all about Princess Leia and Princess Leia kind of in her younger years, and it's about Mon Mothma. And Mon Mothma has an assistant in this book, and I can't think of her name. And I really like that character too. And I was a little disappointed they didn't include her in this. I think this would have been a great place to have her and they didn't have it. So, if you want a little more insight into Princess Leia and her upcoming as a ambassador within the rebellion, I recommend Bloodlines by Claudia Gray. If I remember,
I think you're right. Here, I'll look it up real quick.
Look at me. I'm trying to give book recommendations.
Right? Nice. Bloodlines. Claw.
I had 2 of my Darth Vader books on Facebook as recommendations after Revenge of the Sith, too. So
nice. Yes. Claudia Gray. There he goes. Yes.
Yes. Bloodlines.
Yeah.
I
Bloodlines.
enjoyed that book. I think it's good. And if you want more insight into Princess Leia, I highly recommend that one.
Okay.
Within the Disney era timeline. Anyway.
Goodreads give it a 4.1 out of 5. Good Google users give it 92%. People like this book. Those that voted liked it.
Nice. Very nice. And if you want Darth Vader recommendations, I would recommend Lords of the Sith, which is an adventure with both Darth Vader and the Emperor, which has never happened before. That's the only story like that, which is really cool. It's a good story. And then the second book in the I forget how many trilogies now that Timothy Zahn's done, but it's like the second first Thrawn trilogy of the new Star Wars era, but the second book, and I cannot think of what it's called, but it puts Darth Vader and Thrawn together, and it's almost 2 stories coinciding with each other, where you've got Darth Vader and Thrawn, and you've got Anakin and Thrawn.
Was that Alliances?
Alliances, that's it. Thank you.
Okay.
Great cover too. Just a fantastic cover. Love that one. So those are my Darth Vader recommendations.
Nice. Well, talking about some of the things, one of the things, talking about Mon Mothma, one of the things I did not like was when they were doing the wedding party, and it just seemed so weird, and the music wasn't that great. People are like, oh, the music's great. I'm like, it sucks. I don't know what you guys were talking about. Tonality wise, it doesn't know where to land. It's terrible.
No, who did the soundtrack for Andor?
I don't know, but it's one of those. It's kind of like one of those things.
I
like
wasn't really excited with this soundtrack either.
Yeah, it's like the Emperor's New Clothes. Oh yeah, amazing! Everyone loves it. And like, what are you talking about? It sucks, kind of a thing. So, but I didn't like the whole thing where she was getting drunk and in the party. Because it wasn't a party. It was just weird. It was just a weird scene, and it didn't go anywhere after that.
Yeah, it didn't really feel like Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
Nicholas Britell is the one who does the soundtrack for Andor. I don't know. I just didn't think it was anything to really write home about. It's definitely not John Williams, that's for sure.
Or Giacchino.
Or trying to think of the one who did the Clone Wars stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think overall the music wasn't bad.
Kevin Kiner.
Okay.
I really love Kevin Kiner's music too.
Okay.
I'm not saying the music's horrible. Don't. I'm
saying that scene there for me personally.
Right.
The rest of it's okay. It's fine.
I'm
just that scene was weird.
Nothing really stood out to me. You know what I mean? Some Star Wars, like for instance, go back to Star Wars Episode 3. You get the duel that's amazing music right there. But again,
the Anakin Obi-Wan duel, which I did see that in the theater. Did you go to the theater and see it?
Yes.
We didn't talk about that. It was great.
Oh yeah, it was.
I'm so glad I did that.
Revenge of the Sith in the theater again.
Yeah,
20 years later. Yeah.
Yes,
I loved it.
It was great. It was fantastic. It was like I was seeing it all over again, even though I've seen it dozens of times because it's my favorite Star Wars movie.
Sure. But yeah, it's just great to see it in the movie theater again.
Yeah.
There's just something about seeing a Star Wars movie in a movie theater. Anytime I can get back to the movie theaters and see Star Wars on a big screen, I try and make it, I missed Empire when we got Empire for its 30th anniversary. I missed that one, which is unfortunate. But that was also kind of in the pandemic era, and limited theaters were open, so it was in a weird time period. But I would have been so happy to see Empire again in the theater. That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
And of course, if you know my story, I didn't get to see Empire in the theater originally when it came out in 1980. I missed it in the theater, so the only time I got to see it in the theaters was for the 1997 re-release, and I was super excited to see it then. So anyway.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. So, back to Andor, huh? Yeah. We're talking about things that we found more interesting than re-release of the Sith was great. It was much more better.
Cheers.
Yeah. Andor wasn't bad overall, you guys. I don't want to make it seem like it was.
No, it wasn't bad. I
thought it was better than the first season. I will say that. I thought it was better than the first season.
Yes. I think there was more to it than the first season. The first season, I just didn't feel like there was enough to grasp onto. I definitely would not watch the first season over again. I might watch the Prison Break over again. That part I might watch just because I thought that was good.
We haven't seen anything from that come back into this season. I thought for sure we get something with Andy Serkis's character or something that would come back.
Yeah, that would have been cool to have Andy Serkis's character come back. Yeah, we got nothing.
But we still got 3 episodes left to see. And so, but it depends, everybody.
This last 3 episodes is going to be building more up into Rogue One, though. You're not going to go backwards. That's for sure. I think at this point you can't go backwards. You have to build up to Rogue One because that's the point of the series is building you up to that film. So the last 3 have to be just focused going forward. That's all it's got to be.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love the Stormtroopers. Stormtroopers look great.
Yeah, they sure did. I was
they had that one transport. Excuse me. They showed the one transport, and I noticed when it was going by with all the Imperials in it, and they had the 011 or whatever it is on the back of the Stormtroopers' backs. I was like, oh wow, that's cool. That's the markings that are on the back of the Stormtroopers. Which, when I was a kid and I got my Stormtroopers action figures, I don't have one handy with me, and I'd always see that on the back. And for some reason, my head, I always looked at that scene, oil.
Yep, agreed. Yes.
Oh, that's where they put the oil in those robots.
Right?
Because when I was a kid, I didn't know there were people in those. I thought they were robots.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty funny. Yeah. I thought the same thing.
Oil. I mean, cars got to have oil, right?
Right? That's right. And they talked about having a big old oil bath. Thank the makers.
Yeah.
Right.
3PO does that in A New Hope.
Yeah.
Oh, thank the maker. This oil bath is going to feel really good.
Yeah.
See? It makes sense that the back of the Stormtrooper says oil on it.
Yes. Yeah.
Where's the dipstick? Oh, maybe I shouldn't ask that.
Well, yeah, we're winding down, everybody. I guess there's not. I mean, I enjoyed the whole thing of the horror of the Empire. I mean, the whole master plan to really help start a rebellion, kind of thing on there, so then they could have reason to take over the planet and strip it of all its resources. Kind of a thing.
Right.
And okay, I get that. All right. You still didn't get much about whatever it is, the ore that they're getting and why it was so important. And maybe we'll get that
I think that ore is the Kyber. I think they must have Kyber crystals within the planet. Because they made it sound like it was for the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
And the Death Star needs the Kyber crystals.
And that's the only place they can get it. Yeah.
Right.
Something like that.
So, well, I don't think it's the only place, but I think apparently that planet has some some kyber crystal. That was my guess. I mean, maybe we'll find out more in these last 3 episodes about what exactly it is they're trying to get. But obviously, this planet has something the Empire needs, and their plan is to strip mine it and strip it of its resources and make the planet useless, which is what the Empire is best at. I mean, we've learned that all through the Clone Wars, all through, well, not so much Clone Wars, but the Bad Batch. Well, yeah, Clone Wars too. We've learned that that's what the Empire is good at. They're good at going in, stripping resources from a planet, making the planet useless, and moving on. That's what they. That is exactly what they did.
What did you think of Mon Mothma's speech there in episode 9?
I thought it was good. I liked it.
It was good.
Yeah, kind of similar to the speech that we got a big speech in the first one too. I don't think it was Mon Mothma that gave the speech in the first season though.
No, it was
was it Cassian's
mom or something like that? I think, something.
Yeah,
caretaker or somebody, a relative or family or something like that. Yeah,
right.
Close friend.
And I liked how her speech was actually done in the Senate, the way we see it in the prequels and stuff, with the little floating things.
Yes.
Disc and everything. I love that. And I did love how the Empire is scrambling to try and cut her off because they don't want her message sent out to the galaxy and all this stuff. That was good. That was good political intrigue. I did enjoy that. I think that's the biggest problem. You know, everyone complained about episode 1. Nobody wants to hear about trade routes. Well, we only heard about trade routes in episode 1 for a couple minutes. We hear all the political jargon for most of every episode of this. So, I don't understand. You complain about episode 1 being, it's too much political, where Andor is nothing but political, the entire thing. So you didn't like episode 1 because it was too political, then you should hate Andor.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That is true though. It is really the whole espionage aspect of everything.
Right.
I mean, that's what it's meant to be. The covert, what happens behind the scenes, the political quote unquote intrigue. I don't know if I call it that, but that's what it's meant to be.
Well, it should be a lot more James Bondish, but it doesn't.
My name's Andor, Cassian Andor.
That would be amazing if he did.
I like my bantha stick shaken, not stirred. Oh God!
But I don't feel it is, and I'm not you're more of a Bond fan than I am. I'm not a Bond fan, but Bond has political intrigue, but it's more exciting. Right? And tell me if I'm wrong there.
Yeah.
And I feel that this should probably model that a little bit more. Maybe that's their mistake. They just didn't model it enough after Bond.
Yeah. Well, this is the same guy, the same director, I think, is the same guy who did the Bourne series, the Bourne Identity kind of a things and stuff like that. So, and those were.
You're a fan of Bourne too. I watched the first movie of Bourne, and I just didn't get into it, so I never watched it anymore.
Yeah, but those were slow too. See, that's the whole thing. Those were slow.
Okay.
And I kind of hoped each one would get faster and faster, but it's like no. But I like Bond more than I do Bourne.
Gotcha.
So,
they should have just modeled this more after Bond instead of Bourne.
Maybe
that's probably the problem.
Yes. Very much so.
All right. Well, I definitely will watch the last 3 episodes.
Yes, I will.
I think I think it picked up a lot in episode 9, and I'm hoping it keeps that momentum for the last 3 episodes to lead into Rogue One, and then the fact that we got K2 will be in those episodes. I'm excited. Alan Tudyk is always fun. and he was fantastic in Rogue One. So I have high hopes for those. Maybe I shouldn't get them up too high, but
yeah,
but I do have high hopes for those last 3 episodes. So we'll see what happens.
Right on. All right. Well, with that being said, I think that wraps it up for me for the show. Andor, I'm the parts that I saw, I'm glad I saw. The parts that I skipped, I'm glad I skipped.
That makes sense. I'm happy I watched it just because it is leading up to Rogue One, and I do enjoy Rogue One. I think Rogue One's probably one of the finer Disney Star Wars films. So I am happy in that sense that I did watch it. Like I said, I named the actors that I was really thrilled with, with them being in it and their characters being portrayed in it. So there are those things. And I love the tech. The tech was amazing. The ships were great. I just would have liked to see more ships, but I guess we're just not in that type of movie where we get the space battles and stuff like that. And I lean more towards space battles. I want Star Wars in my Star Wars.
Right.
Should we mention the fact that we were supposed to have a guest today?
Well,
he was on our thumbnail, so
yeah. If you missed that, everybody, we got misconnected or something. So, but hopefully we'll have him back on or have him on at some point.
Yeah, I just wanted to state that we were supposed to have a guest. His name is Fred Mandracchia. He is an author, and I think he had some other projects that he did want to discuss with us today. I would encourage you to look up Fred Mandracchia and read a little bit about his background. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And just wanted to throw out his name and the fact that he does have a book with his story in it. It's called The Polar Bandit, Raw and Uncut, and it's available on Amazon if you're interested. So just because he was on our thumbnail and he was supposed to be with us, we don't know what happened to him today, but I will be in contact.
Hopefully we'll get
him back on, or we'll get him on at some point. So
right. Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to address that.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, everybody, if you've made it this far, we want to say thank you very much for joining us here on Two Geeks and a Microphone. Please check out our website at www. No, I'm just kidding.
Dang, how many W's are in it?
Right. www.2geeksmic.com. That's the number 2 GEEKSMIC.com. There you'll find all things Two Geeks. You'll find it as our hub if you want to go to our Ko-fi page, our merch page, even our podcast page. All those things you can find there. If you would be willing to help support us, all the money that we get just kind of helps pay for the podcast hosting, our software that we use so that we can go live, and that's ko-fi.com/2geeks, the number 2 GEEKS. If you want to contact us, Mike's really good with the email. It is show@2geeksmike.com, and where you can just, if you have any ideas, concepts, or questions, you're more than welcome to check us out there. And also, as we've already talked about, but we're not an affiliate sponsor just yet, but check out
Live Bearded.
livebearded.com.
That's live, not lie.
Right. All right. Anything else that you have, Mr. Mike?
Well, if you made it this far, please make sure and like us and subscribe to us on any of our socials, being YouTube. Make sure you give a thumbs up to this video and any other videos that you watch, and subscribe to us over there. And make sure you like and follow us on Facebook. Facebook, I try to post funny memes. Some of them I steal from other places. Some of them I create myself. All's fair in love and podcasting. And then we also make sure and share anything about upcoming episodes for this podcast. Speaking and times when we go live, My brain's not working this morning. And speaking of going live, we go live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, unless, of course, I'm camping.
Right.
Like it was last week. 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. You do the math on the rest because I don't like math. All right. There you go. So with that said, anything else, Stephen?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. So thank you for joining us. Please do not, Stephen, skip this episode because we are much more better than the rest. Cue the music. Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
may the force be with you.